Well, definitely one of my favorite things in life is having a family and being able to enjoy everything that comes with that. My name is Terry Marlin. My two sons, Jonah, he's 12, Emery, and he's 9. It was a week before Christmas in 2008, and I was on a business trip, and my wife calls, and so she said they had been to the pediatrician's office. The doctor did a blood test, calls her out of the office and said, "We think he might have muscular dystrophy." They were going to test Emery the next day. They did the blood test, and they said that he did also have muscular dystrophy. What Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy is, or DMD, it's a genetic disease. It's one of the 40 different forms of muscular dystrophy, but it is crippling by early teens, paralyzing by late teens, and life expectancy is mid to late 20s. Both boys lost the ability to walk at age 8. They're both in motorized chairs. We've put a 70-foot ramp out in the back of our house so they could get out the back door, put a ramp in the front of our house so they could get out the front because, they would want to go outside and play. Well, the kids that could walk would just take off running out the back door, where a lot of kids couldn't, in our own house, they couldn't get out the back. So you have to have a lot of very difficult conversations with your kids, and the disease is just cruel. So fast forwarding, since we're very close to Vanderbilt Children's Hospital, I reached out to the chairman of pediatrics and asked, "Is there research being done at Vanderbilt Children's Hospital?" And he said, "No, but I'd love to have a meeting with you." So I set up a meeting. I said, "Well, how do we get research started?" He said, "Raise $500,000. I didn't think that I would ever be able to do that, but I said, "Yes, sir, I'll do it. We have hope. We can do this." And so then we just started doing all kind of fundraisers. And to date, we've raised $750,000. We've got 3 current cardiac research projects going on. The research we are doing can hopefully help kids one day that have Duchenne or other diseases that have cardiac issues. It is very tough at times, but you just keep fighting, and you keep living, and you keep loving. Our family, I think, is stronger because of it. We just like to live life and appreciate life, and that's what this disease has done for us. There is no cure at this time, and that's what we're trying to do is just, we have hope. What is Fight DMD? We'll get to that in a minute. What would you do if your only 2 kids were diagnosed with a disease that is 100% fatal by early to mid-20s? It was 2008, 1 week before Christmas, when I was on a business trip and I got the call from my wife that our oldest son had muscular dystrophy and that I needed to come home. They were going to test our youngest son the next day. And I remember being in that neurologist office. It was dark, and I don't know why he put us there, but it was a conference room, and he said, and my wife gets the call from our pediatrician's office, and she just started bawling. So I knew, I thought, there's no way both of my kids are going to have this disease. I didn't even know anything about it at the time, and I thought, there's no way. What's the chances? And when she cried, I knew that they had Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy. So what do you do? A year and a half went by. We did our own research. We didn't really know what to do, but that Christmas that they were diagnosed was one of the best Christmases we ever had. Because as parents, you worry that is your kid going to get the best present? Are they going to like it? Well, we didn't worry about that. We focused our time and our attention on them and us as a family. That's what was important. So then we decided that we had to do more. And so we started Fight DMD, and we were doing fundraising for cardiac research because 75% of Duchenne kids lose their life to heart failure. As you just heard, DMD, Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy, is crippling, completely paralyzing, and life expectancy is early to mid-20s. But what seemed to be that horrible day in that neurologist's office, the worst news we could ever imagine, it was actually a blessing. And it was a blessing because now we appreciate life more than we ever could. We didn't worry about tomorrow. We just lived life for today. We would never travel the world like we traveled before diagnosis. We just want to focus our time and attention on them and living life for today. The blessing that we have been given by this disease is beyond anything I ever thought that I would ever get. So there's a few discrepancies. Since we've filmed the video, we've now almost raised $1 million in research funds. Thank you. But what does that mean to a 12 and a 10-year-old that lost the ability to walk at 8? I remember being in the bathroom with my oldest son when he stopped walking, and so my youngest was still walking at the time, and he came in there and he said, "Daddy, does this mean I'm going to lose the ability to walk?" We're honest with our kids. I said, "Yes, Emery, you're going to." But we hug them and we love them. We keep fighting. So what does this mean? All the research money that we could ever raise in the world, what does it mean to a 12 and a 10-year-old? It means absolutely nothing. They don't even know what $1 million is. It could be 10 million. All they want to know is, when am I going to walk again? They tell me all the time, "Daddy, you do all this fundraising. You've raised," the doctor said, "raise $500,000. He said, "You've almost raised $1 million. And he said, "When are you going to find a cure?" Wow, good question. The progress is slow. But my kids are progressing very fast. They both lost the ability to walk at 8, but now my oldest can't even raise his arms. We have to lift him everywhere he goes. I have the blessing that not a lot of parents have because I have to pick him up everywhere he goes. I have to pick the littlest one up. So I get to hug my kid every day. Now I have to put his arms around me because he can't lift his arms. But it's such a blessing because none of us ever know how much time we have. But our kids are loved a lot. My wife and I, we continue to travel, we continue to live life, we continue to love them, and we cherish every day. So I ask you, will you join in our fight? Appreciate life, live life. And to Jonah and Emery, to all the kids that have Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy, I promise you that until there's no breath left in my body, that I will continue to fight for you, for all the parents that have kids with Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy and all the muscular dystrophies out there. I will not stop the fight. We will continue, and I just ask you, will you join in our fight? Thank you for the time. Thank you, Dr. Chu. Thank you, Dr. Clausen. Thank you, everybody at MedX. This has been the most powerful conference I've been to. I've met some amazing people. But this is about the kids with Duchenne, and this is for you. Thank you.
Peace, love, and most importantly, get yourself a donut.